The next person is kind of familiar because we've already seen his pretty mug up on the stage twice. So I'd like to welcome Brent Talbot to the stage, please. And he's gonna building conscious communities.
Yes. Hello everybody, how you guys doing? I'm so excited to see so many people here. And some new faces. I'm not the oldest person in Evolver anymore, thank you. We've been doing this for a few years and this community is amazing. These kids are brilliant. They have so much passion. They've allowed me to change my life quite substantially. I've now lived without money for the last 16 months, including traveling across the country a little bit, back and forth. And because of these people, I have had the opportunity to find out what community truly means. And for me, it's not C-O-M-M. I don't talk money. It's C-A-L-M, calm, conscious, aware, loving, mindful, unity. And that's what's available in all of us and all of these opportunities that we have a chance to get out and share and to really discuss what's important in the world. I started occupying last October 15th. And then from there I transitioned into OccuWalk. We went from Victoria to Ottawa, and on April 27th when we left, Dave Benny, I don't know if he's in here, but he is here somewhere, he gave me this book right here, and I took it across the country with me, and in the spirit of collective cooperation, I've got a lot of people's ideas, poetry, pictures. If anybody's interested in adding in to it, please do. There's only a few pages left. For what I would like to see is I'm going to take this book, I'm going to get it published, and I want to donate it to the community for what they've done for me. Because I want these guys to have a base to start with. Because they're beautiful, they're amazing, and they have so much energy. And I'll tell you something, as I transformed to a homeless person, home free, okay? I did things for the first time in my life. I hitchhiked, I panhandled, I ate in soup kitchens. The reason the homeless industrial complex exists is because of the lack of nutrition in the food. They're all being filled with GMOs. And I experienced it. I haven't been sick in 7 years because I don't believe in it. It's not a part of my life that I need to keep. So I let it go. My body always gives me warning signs. When I was eating in Ottawa at the Shepherd's of Good Hope for 2 weeks with Wonder Bread and egg salad and tomato soup, I was starting to do this with my bag. I'm like, what's going on? I can't function. And it's because of what's being programmed. This, I'll tell you what, when I'm in Calgary and I get to hang out with these guys, these two especially, they put food in me like I've never experienced. And I'm like, wow! What is that, man? It feels good. And it's true. You are what you eat. Educate yourselves. I have a question for you. This is something that I thought all the way across the country. Why doesn't every school have a garden? We have so many people here talking tonight about permaculture, about empowering ourselves through food security. Why doesn't every homeless shelter have a garden? Why doesn't every hospital have a garden? How about churches? Isn't this someplace we're supposed to go and learn about Mother Earth and what it's about? We need to be the change that we wish to see in this world. And we all have the ability to do it, or we wouldn't be here. We've all been attracted because this is a powerful community of people that are interested in making positive, progressive change. And I see it. Every chance we get together, these things get better. We've had some bad speakers. I've done some bad talks. But this is a couple of years later and it's getting better, you know? We are getting better at this because we're being more relaxed. I'll tell you what. I walked from, well, not all the way from Victoria to Ottawa. We also hitchhiked and we rode bikes. That took 4.5 months. I occupied Parliament Hill for 2 months. I did a one-man hug-a-cop event with 10,000 police officers. It was on the Police Memorial Day at Parliament Hill. And I did a one-man, I hugged 7 cops. I danced for 4 hours with them. It was the most entertaining day of my life and the hardest challenge I've ever put myself through, because it's usually running from them, not hanging out with them. The last talk I did before I left for Ottawa was called Integrating Organic Systems by Building a Hippie Bridge. This is the hippie, and I'm bridging the gap. So my idea for the whole walk was to create this super conscious network where we could exchange information. You look at like Sweden, who's using 100% of their garbage for renewable energy. That makes sense. Why aren't we doing that? They have heated coils in their sidewalks so that when it snows, there's no snow. So people walk more. It's like we need to have, that should be a law. If that's available and you're not using it, then you go to jail. Don't obey the law. Play with the law. Okay? They're policy enforcers. These people don't even really know what the law is. Do I have time for a quick story? Yeah. Okay. I finally got arrested. I've been trying to get arrested all the way across the country, and it never happened. So finally in Ottawa, when we got there, we got caught sleeping on Victoria Island, which you can't do. In Ottawa, the law is if you have blankets, it's okay, you can sleep outside. If you pull out a sleeping bag, it's a $95 fine, and you have a 1-year banning from all of green space. If you pull out a tent, you'll be arrested. Okay, simple. So we got caught sleeping in our sleeping bags. So I got banned from Ottawa green space. The Occupy anniversary at Confederation Park, where they occupied in Ottawa. We got there. There was 3 RCMP trucks and 3 NCC trucks. For those of you who don't know what the NCC is, it's the National Capital Commission. They own all the green space in Ottawa. They also are owned by the Bank of Canada. So they have our green space. But, and they had 4-wheelers in the back of the NCCs, I guess, in case we tried to make a run for it. Right. Yeah, there was 20 of us, and about 12 of them. And so I was like, oh, this isn't good. So I sat down and I started meditating for about an hour, and I tried to calm the space. Then I got up and I started dancing and singing, and my buddy Andrew was playing the guitar, and we kind of got a little busking thing going on. And the cops were looking, they got all these pictures they took of us while we were sleeping, and they're like, cop comes up to me and he goes, do you understand that you've been banned from NCC property? I said, no, I don't understand. I said, I'm just dancing in a park. What do you mean? So we went through this a few times. At which point he said to me, if you say to me one more time that you don't understand, you will be under arrest. I said, fine. I don't get. Click. So they took me to the car, and there was 4 of them and me, and I was in a really good mood. And they're like, what are you doing this for? What are you doing this? I said, I came here to talk to you guys. They're like, what? I said, well, the way I see it, the only thing keeping me from the government is you guys. And you're in the same boat as we are. It's just a matter of time, so we might as well get to know each other. At which point he said, I need to see your ID. And I said, well, I have an excellent YouTube video if you'd like to watch me throwing it in the fire. and so at which point he says to me, he's like, okay, well, do you have any record? I said, I was busted for drinking and driving when I was 20 years old, which is 1990, so 23 years ago. I said, and I only blew .09. 2 cops, one goes, that's it? The other one goes, that's over. See, these aren't laws, these are policies. I get you, I'm fine, I get you, I'm fucked. How can you justify that? And he's like, yeah, whatever. So eventually they took the cuffs off, and I read them a poem that I wrote. At which point they asked me to leave the park. This is the best part. So I made a deal with them. I said, fine, I'll leave the park. And so I went out to the front, and it was just like this. And there was like green cement here and then the sidewalk here. So I'm standing here and I'm talking to somebody like this. And again, buddy with the pictures. Hey, you were banned from NCC property. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm over here. I'm not in the park. He goes, no, actually you still are. I said, what do you mean? I said, where do I have to be? He said, you have to be over here. I said, really? I said, okay. So this is illegal, and this is legal. He says, yeah. I said, okay, just one more time, just so I make sure I get this. Illegal and legal. He's like, yeah. I go, illegal, illegal, legal, legal, illegal, legal. At which point I said, can you arrest half of me? The cop looked at me and said, I'm not here to discuss the law. At which point I said, that's why, because you're a policy enforcer. Thank you. And he went away. That's how ridiculous it is. And we have to take these opportunities to point out things that are funny for people to recognize. Because those laws are goofy. Like, seriously, I was like, really? How do we justify this ownership of land? So anytime you're out there, 5 minutes really? I've been talking a lot. Does anybody have any questions? Because I'd love to discuss anything that you want to throw out there. The most common one I get is, how do you eat? I answer with my mouth. And you? Please.
What are some of the most important, maybe like 3 keywords that you think creates a community?
That creates community is number 1, compassion. Having people together, and it's about really just communication. Calm, C-A-L-M. Every time you see calm, money, commerce, replace it with C-A-L-M and think of it differently. Communication, compassion, and contribution. I really think that what I've seen is that everybody wants to contribute. And everybody here has an amazing idea. Otherwise they wouldn't have come. You don't just come to hang out and not have something brilliant to talk about, because otherwise you just lay in bed. It's true. You come to these things because you want to share, and that's kind of the thing that I think that's the most important part, is that we all have great ideas. But when I'm going to tell you guys, when we were traveling as a dysfunctional family, how I like to call us, we would, as a power of group consciousness, when we were sitting together, and we would be in alignment, when we were working together, everything was happy, and we would be thinking about something, like Shanley would go, I like some waffles. And seriously, 2 minutes out of nowhere, somebody would come up and go, hey, you guys want waffle? And we're like, yeah, where have you been? You're 1 minute, 58 seconds late. But that is the power, and it happened in every city that we went to. And it's uncanny. The universe provides that it wants to provide, but you just have to be cheerfully expectant. Patience is a big thing that we have in our society, is a problem, because we're all based on immediate gratification. What are you going to do for me right now? Well, I'm going to tell you to meditate. Okay? Meditate, educate, dedicate. Those 3 words will take you anywhere. The yoga, nutrition, and meditation, 3 of the things that have been discussed here this evening, will cure any problem. I don't care what it is. And we know that. We're self-learners. We get educated from our interactions and sticking our tongue out at Vanessa.
That's how you build community?
Yes, exactly. And have fun. The difference between where we are now is the shit. That's where everybody's living. The shift is just put the F. That's the fun. Put the fun in it. You get right out of that shit. Let's have some fun. And dance. Everybody needs to dance more. Wherever you go. Have you guys seen the dance walk video by Joe? Walking and dancing all up and down the street. Do that. Do it. And tape yourself and say, look at this. I'm crazy. What if there were no strangers? I'm trying to be the strangest one out there. Okay? And if you do that, see, what this has given me the ability to do is talk to anybody. Street person, MP. I had the head RCMP at Parliament Hill writing that book. The only cop that's ever written in it. And he loved me. But he gets it, because he knows what we're about, right? This is a peaceful group of fantastic minds, and they're all interested in collaborating. Challenge yourself. Meet somebody new today, and try something. Put on an event. Get everything like, this is how you find out what you're made of. You really do. Get up here. Number one fear in our society is public speaking. Number two is death. Who are you going to talk to when you're dead? Okay? So challenge yourself. Get your ass up here, because we all know you have a great idea, or you wouldn't be here. I love you all. Any more questions?
So, knowing who you are, you seem to be a very powerful manifester.
Thank you.
What, besides the publishing of the book that you're planning to do, what other contributions you see yourself rolling into?
Good question. Good question. I like to live in flow. I love acronyms too. Feeling love over worry. I find that when I was in Calgary, I got burnt out. I do a lot of events, a lot of these sort of things, and I was overdoing it. I need a space to step back. I have a book that's trying to come out of me. I'm birthing, and it's going crazy. Like, it really needs some time. So Mud and I are gonna head to Victoria. We're gonna go and chill out for the winter. But then I do see myself coming back to the community in springtime and helping with some of these projects, because I know there's a lot of people interested in what we've been talking about, and that's living communally, because everything is possible when you live in a community. I met Swami Sachan, was the first enlightened individual I've ever met, and he said when he grew up, he had his siblings, his parents, his grandparents, and his great-grandparents all in the same house. He said, if I had a question for anything, there was an answer. He said, my great-grandparents taught me more in my first 15 years of life than I learned from anybody. We need that. We need to grow that. It's right here, your core strength. That's your family. That's where we lost it in the Western society, and I know I'm out of time. I love you guys. Namaste.